The service is beginning in 1 minute. The service begins in 30 seconds.
Greetings on this beautiful day, a magnificent winter's day here in Johannesburg. Today I'm going to be speaking about one of my favorite chapters, and that's actually Luke 15, in that where Jesus makes it very clear as he's speaking to these Pharisees and Sadducees about how important God's love is for his people, and in fact for humanity. And Luke 15 starts, and he's speaking to the Jewish leaders, and he says to them, and he says, he tells them the parable of the sheep that are lost, and there's 100 sheep, and 99 of them are okay, and one gets lost, and the shepherd leaves the 99 and goes for the one. And clearly the Jewish leaders, religious leaders, didn't get it. So then he tells them another story, and that is about the woman who has 10 coins and loses one, and then she goes and looks for the one, leaves the 9 to go and look for the one. And then finally, clearly they hadn't got it yet. He then goes on to the moment in which the son, the story of the prodigal, what we know as the prodigal son, that wants his inheritance from his father and then leaves, takes his inheritance and leaves, and then goes off to a foreign land, and then does the worst possible thing, and ultimately ends up, as you could imagine for a Jewish person, feeding pigs. And one day it says that the son came to his senses, and then ran back to his father. He said, surely it's better for me to go and serve, be a servant of my father, than live in the conditions that I live in the moment. And so we have the whole of Luke chapter 15 dedicated to one specific message, that God our Father runs after us. The heart of the Father is one who seeks us. The heart of the Father is to go and find the one that is lost. He leaves the 99, he leaves the 10, and he goes and looks for the one that is lost. Of course, the son is lost, but in this story it tells us that the son actually comes back to the father. But as you read into the story, you'll know that the father was sitting there, and then when it says when he saw his son come from a far distance. In other words, part of what the father was doing was looking out for his son, expectant of his son to return. And so just as he sees his son, he does what any dignified Jewish elder would never ever do, and that was run after a son. Well, actually, they wouldn't run, to tell you the truth. It was always more of a dignified walk than anything else in that. But I want you to imagine the father standing up from where he was sitting, actually lifting his robes, which would expose his ankles and feet, which would not be a good thing, and then in an undignified way goes running to his son. I don't know about you, but depending what your image of God is, so many of us have got this image of God, that God is a judgmental God, that God is, in the minute we turn to God, we need to go with fear and trembling, because he's going to smite us, he's going to take us out, he's going to just judge us, But Jesus gives this beautiful, beautiful image of a father running to the son. This beautiful image of God doesn't, at just the first hint of us turning around, at just the first hint of us coming back to God, God is proactive. The Father's love is proactive towards you and me. And he comes running to us. He comes running to us because he wants to reconcile. He wants us to reconcile. Now, the Father had every right to actually throw a temper tantrum. The father had every right just to lose it completely. The father had every right to judge, to criticize. The father had absolutely every right to be as mad as hell, excuse the expression. I mean, he took his inheritance. I mean, he embarrassed him. Could you imagine what talk in the village was when not only when the son left the father, but the son left the father with his inheritance, but not only that ultimately he was working in a foreign land feeding pigs. I mean, the father would have been completely humiliated, lost his standing within the community, lost respect within the community. But do you notice how the father doesn't really care what anyone else thinks? But all he's interested is reconciling with his son. That's the only thing he's interested in. And instead of being angry, instead of being furious, instead of being completely mad with his son, as rightfully he could have been or should have been, he doesn't do that. No, he runs to his son, meets his son, embraces his son, and then doesn't go, okay, we've embraced, now I'm going to put you in time out. Now I'm mad with you. Okay, we've got to this step. I've come after you, I've embraced you, and all the rest of it. He then throws a feast for his son. So this is just not even a case of the father running after the son. This is not just a thing of the father wanting to reconcile with his son. This is not just a thing of the father going, oh man, I'm so happy that we can be connected again, or anything like that. He does all of that. He does the bare minimum, yes, which alone in itself is wow. You know, the Father seeks us. The Father looks for us, especially when we're lost, especially when we've been feeding pigs. He still comes to us. Now that alone is worth an incredible wow. I mean, that is just unbelievable. But then not only does he do that, not only does he run after his son, he then throws a party. And he doesn't get some skinny little cow, whatever the case may be. He gets the best. He gets a fattened calf. In fact, in this whole story of the prodigal son, the only unhappy person besides the other son is the fattened calf. I mean, so they slaughter this calf. And then not only is there a celebration of a meal, but the father takes his ring and gives him his ring as a sign of his authority. He gives him a robe, a beautiful brand new robe. He gives him a party. He gives him gifts. I mean, does that even sink in for you and me? You know, not only does God meet us in the place where we are our worst, when we reconcile, I believe not only God celebrates, but I believe the whole of heaven celebrates for every person that is lost, that becomes found, that every person that is reconciled with God, that every person that finds God again. There is a moment of truth, a moment of celebration, a moment of beauty, grace in action, love in action. And not only God, but the whole of heaven celebrates for every lost person that is found. I don't know where you are. I don't know right now if you're feeling lost or feeling far away from God. God will leave everything just for you. Not only will he just leave it, he comes running to you and to me. And then when he finds us, we celebrate. Then the party is on. Such is the abundance of God's love for you and for me. There is no end to it, my friend. There is no end to it. Do you know that today?
I've heard 1,000 stories of what they think you're like, but I've heard the tender whisper of love in the dead of night, and you tell me that you're pleased and that I'm never alone. You're a good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. I've seen many searching for answers far and wide, but I know we're all searching for answers. Only you provide, 'cause you know just what we need before we say a word. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. Love so undeniable, I can hardly speak. Peace so unexplainable, I can hardly think as you call me. Deeper still as you call me. Deeper still as you call me. Deeper still into love. Love, you're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am.